Today, we are looking at YouTube channels, and we are giving tips on things that can help you improve your YouTube channel. So if this is your first time here, this is 100% free thanks to TubeSpanner, which is a YouTube tool that has an entire suite of things that will help you out when it comes to your YouTube channel, from an AI script writer to screenwriting tools to social bio pages that you can use to, kind of interlink your social media content. All kinds of helpful tools. There's just a ton of them. But you can try it out for yourself at tubespanner.com, so you can see, what it involves and see all the different tools that can help you out and help you on your journey here on YouTube. So as we get into this, because this is, free from TubeSpanner, all you have to do when it comes to participating in this is there is a word that I'm going to show up on the screen, and all you got to do is put that word into the chat. And when you put that word into the chat, what's going to happen is this tool that I'm using from StreamYard is going to randomly select somebody that is in the chat, and we're going to pull that channel up on screen. Again, this is completely free, so you don't have to buy anything. You don't have to, donate anything. You don't have to super chat nothing. This is all for TubeSpanner, or on behalf of TubeSpanner. And we are going to, be looking at your channels, and that's pretty much the rules. Super simple. The only channels that we don't pull up are channels that do have, content that maybe is, super violent, or maybe the thumbnails are a little bit racy, or they have a lot of profanity or something like that. Most channels on YouTube don't have that. So because of that, I'm sure everybody here qualifies. But that is the rules. That's what's going on. And that's kind of, how it's going down. So let's do it. So the very first, hey, what's going on, Tiffany? Hope that you're doing fantastic. Connie Cleary, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Homekeeping channel. Nice to see you in here. Talk Punch. Love it. Little Crafty Nook, what's going on? I hope that you are fantastic. Hope you are doing great. Shark Scrapper in the house. Nice. Love it. Doug over here as well. Monique, nice to see you here. Also, Renegade's Garage, what is going on? Hope everybody's doing fantastic. KMH family, what's going on? Hope everybody's doing great. Super excited to look at channels. I just came over from the StreamYard channel, and I was looking at, some channels over there as well. We're looking at setups too. Basically just looking at, what it is that people see on screen, and, just kind of giving some, tips there too, in terms of, anything that can be done to, maybe just improve how things maybe look, or whatever. So when we do pull up the channels, I might give you some of that too, just because I'm in that mode a little bit. So yeah, that's what's going on. So the very first word, if you've been here before, you already know what it's going to be, so you can go ahead and just start dropping it into the chat right now. But the very first word that is going to get your channel pulled up, and only put this word into the chat if your channel is going to, if you are okay with your channel getting pulled up. And I almost did it for the wrong stream. And here we go. So I just put it up. The word is TubeSpanner. That's the word that you want to put into the chat right now. And then, of course, the word that we're going to be using is going to be changing, across different, across different things that we are doing here. We're probably going to use purple somewhere. We're probably going to use TubeSpanner bio somewhere. We're probably going to use TubeSpanner update, somewhere, because the whole CMS and the whole look and feel of TubeSpanner is getting updated. The website's getting faster. Everything is improving with StreamYard, with TubeSpanner. So if you haven't been in there in a while, definitely, go check it out. It's been completely revamped and it looks amazing. They did a fantastic job with that. Okay, so we got 34 responses. So while those responses are coming through, let me just kind of do it this way so you can still kind of see the thing there. Yeah, I'm actually going to see if I can actually just pull up the TubeSpanner interface and just kind of show you what it looks like while we're waiting for these responses to come in. But I think we've got most of them, so I might just show you this on the next run around maybe, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and draw. We got 36 people. So we're going to go ahead and just draw, and we're going to see how it all goes down. Let's do it. Boom. Yeah, it's got to be spelled exactly as it is on the screen. So we got Critter Hunter. That sounds like a good time. And I love your profile picture, like you're deep in the ocean. Love that. Yeah, this looks like it might be fun. Okay, so let me get my cursor over here, highlight this, bam. To make this better, having it to where you can just kind of click on it and go to the YouTube channel would be super helpful. Okay, so let's go to youtube.com. Let's type in Critter Hunter. And then look, oh man, this is a PC, not a Mac. Okay, Critter Hunter, definitely doing water stuff. Okay. So let me get this up on screen. Let me remove that one and stop sharing this. Let me shut this down too. And, I should probably change YouTube channels. Give me 1 second here, just doing a little bit of housekeeping. I meant to do this before we came in here. There we go. Okay, so now we're in the right place. And now let me pull up the YouTube channel. Critter Hunters. Okay. All right. There we go. We got it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this pulled up here from Critter Hunters, and we are going to give Critter Hunters some tips. If I mean, maybe we're going to give them some tips, but I think we will. Okay, so the very first, let me kind of get this sorted so it looks a little bit better. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Ah, so much better. Okay, so right out of the gate, I land on the channel, Critter Republic Dive Center. Welcome, ocean and scuba enthusiasts. Join us as we dive. Okay, that's fine. I like how you call out who it is that you are, who it is that you're reaching with your content too. I think that's awesome. Okay, as we scroll down, are we happy from Duwan? Oh, the Philippines. Nice, nice, nice. We're practically neighbors if you are hanging out in the Philippines. Yeah, I'm over in Thailand. Okay, so a couple things. Let's see here. Calling the Wild visits us. Boat Outrunners. The Philippines. Yeah, your imagery's good. Here, I would put a little bit more focus on the boat. This is hard to see right here at a small size for this particular thumbnail. This one right here. By the way, the tool I'm using on the screen right now is from TubeSpanner 2, by the way. But yeah, this particular one, I would use YouTube's A/B testing tool and see if you can put like just a better image of a boat, maybe something a little bit more close up. You got boat outrunners here, so you might be fine there. But I would definitely experiment with that imagery a little bit because the whole deal with the thumbnail, and you know this already. I mean, you're doing okay. But the whole deal with the thumbnail is, trying to grab somebody's attention based on what it is that they care about. So here, just kind of, making that, a little bit more, emphasizing the boat a little bit more would definitely be something to consider. Here you have the water imagery back there, and you've also made this about, this person. So all of that is okay. Seems people, responded well to that too. I'm not sure who Coastin the Wild is, or Colton the Wild. I don't know if he's, like a scuba diver, YouTuber or whatever. But in cases like that, I would still, focus more on the imagery and then kind of introduce him like as he, comes in. But I see you're using his handle too, so I'm going to guess, he's definitely a YouTuber, so that's okay. Let's see. Let me hit your popular videos, new episodes, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. So just as a heads up, videos like this, right, or playlists like this, if you are, like, if you have new content that you think serves your viewers better than this content, then in that particular case, I would get the new content up here so everything's fresh. However, if these are here for a reason, then they're perfectly fine. Like, for example, on my channel page, I got some old videos, old playlists and stuff up there too, but they drive affiliate sales, so that's why they're there, because those particular videos convert well. So because of that, I feature those videos. But if these, typically, do well for you, then in that case, leaving them there, I think is okay. But really, I would try to feature, content that, like, let me see what you're doing here real quick. Yeah, so you've definitely got some, videos people responded to more. I would try to focus your channel page more on that stuff. And the reason it's important is because, like, one thing that you want is, like, when, like, this video right here, right? You had 10,000 people interact with this video. Out of those 10,000 people, you had, probably a few people went over and they looked at your channel page. When they look at your channel page, they're looking for more content. Some people are going to hit your videos tab. Some people are just going to scroll down and look for the content here. So you having your content organized into these playlists is definitely a good move. But I would definitely, just kind of just revisit it and be like, am I focusing on, my best content here? Because you've been making videos for a while. So just being like, am I focusing on my best content here? And does this content that is in these particular playlists that I'm featuring on my channel page, is there logic behind keeping those there? Because sometimes there are. So because of that, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, okay, that's 4 years ago, so that's fine. Spanish channel. Okay, one thing that I would not do is this. So I understand you're trying to spread awareness about the other channel because I'm guessing you're dubbing this one or something, but I would not do this, not on this channel. Because by sending people from this channel to here, you can actually hold this channel back. Because the problem is that this channel is targeting people that speak Spanish. So because of that, sending people over there that are English speakers does you no good at all. And in fact, when you have those people over there, if they're interacting with the videos over there, it can send the wrong signals to YouTube, and it can cause the videos here to start getting recommended to the wrong people. So because of that, I would let this happen organically instead of, driving people there from your channel page. I would get that off of there immediately. It's better to grow that one slow with the right audience for now than it is to try to get that jump on it by sending some of your, already, established viewers over to that particular channel. So I would make that change immediately because it looks like you just recently, published this channel. I would get that off of there ASAP so that you don't, so you don't cause any damage over there. Let's see here. Let me go up the thing here. Yeah, I think what you're doing for thumbnails, I think all that's fine. How to build a boat, that's fine. Scuba diving in the Philippines. Things like this, right? So I'm going to put a highlight on this particular video real quick. So if you look at this one here, let me change this to like a circle. Hold on. How do I change it to a circle? Is the thing not coming up? Okay, we'll just do this. Yeah, that's just not working right for some reason. Okay, well, scratch that. I'll just do this then. So with this video here, right? This is the video in question is this video right here. So these types of titles are perfectly fine. And I just want to be clear about that. Like this is perfectly fine what you're doing here. However, it can definitely be better. So when you have titles like this, it's informative. And oftentimes that's perfectly fine. It's enough, right? Because then you're just letting people know, hey, we're scuba diving in the Philippines. Like that's what's up. But because it is just informative, if somebody searches for scuba diving in the Philippines and the videos that show up in those search results are scuba diving in the Philippines, scuba diving in the Philippines, scuba diving in the Philippines, OMG, I can't believe what we found, then in that particular case, that OMG, I can't believe what we found is going to stand out against the videos that are just scuba diving in the Philippines because it adds a little bit more of a compelling nature to it, right? So because of that, when it comes to just base informational titles like this, I would try to make it a little bit more compelling. So for example, scuba diving in the Philippines, this was a life-changing experience, or, the corals were so beautiful, or, just something extra to where it makes somebody not feel like, oh, that might be a video that I might watch. You're trying to make somebody feel like I need to watch this video. I need to see what's going on here. And when you get good at that particular part, then you'll start, having people respond better to the videos. We all need to get better, Critter Hunter. Like this is a learning curve. Don't sweat it, right? Don't like, like we all have places that we can improve all the time. The platform's constantly evolving. We're constantly evolving as humans. Our audiences are constantly evolving. Like, we're all in the learning curve. So don't sweat it. But I would definitely work on it though. But hey, we got TubeSpanner in the house right now. What's going on, Danielle? Hope you're doing great. But I would definitely, when you're writing your titles, I would start thinking like, okay, I'm nailing it in terms of the subject matter and the image, right? Like that's a 100%. Scuba diving in the Philippines, you're just nailing it, right here. How you have the little arrow and you're pointing to whatever this is way too small to make out what it is. You can't even see the arrow, right? So I would just be mindful of that if you are trying to bring attention to something. make it like a bigger deal if you're trying to bring attention to something, or take the original image, scale it up, and then cut that person out, drop them in there. You can use TubeSpanner actually has a background remover tool if you're trying to cut them out. You can do it. You know, there's tons of different ways that you can remove backgrounds now. But I would definitely, you know, be a little bit more intentional when it comes to focusing on that other person back there, if that's something that you're legitimately trying to do. And that might have just been like, hey, I'm trying to fill this space back here. But if you're legitimately trying to, you know, use that person as like a compelling element, I'd put more focus on them. But when it comes to titles, though, I would definitely try to be a little bit more compelling. In fact, let's just go to YouTube search and see what shows up when it goes for scuba diving in Philippines. Scuba diving in a particular reef, so they're being specific there. Okay, that's interesting. A travel guide. Okay, so this right here makes this particular result interesting, but this type of thing happens at the video idea, right? Because of the video idea, it's like, okay, I'm making an actual guide here for people. So then if people want to go and scuba dive themselves, if that's who you're trying to reach, then in that case, it's like, hey, this is a travel guide, so I'm going to watch this so I can get some advice on scuba diving there. Diving the amazing Philippines, right? That makes it a little bit more compelling on the amazing side. Why scuba diving the Philippines is a must-do experience. Again, if you're scuba diving, you're into scuba diving, you're going to watch that video. Why the Philippines is truly world class for scuba diving. Yeah, like all these things stand out against scuba diving in the Philippines, right? In terms of, you know, just the compelling nature of it. So I would definitely just work on that side of things. Okay, so far, we've got really just the being mindful of the content on the channel page, getting this off of there, and also the titles. I think what you're going through thumbnails is perfectly fine in most cases. Like here, like when you're focusing on you, that's perfectly fine too. But I would make sure that you're doing, which is what you are doing. I would make sure that you are, you know, just making sure that there's another clear element there, just so that when people, you know, see it, it's like, okay, there's, you know, something that's, you know, like it's him, but this other thing is also going to, you know, pull attention in. Another thing too is if this is in the Philippines, adding that to the title. There's a lot going on here in the Philippines. That might also, you know, help people have a little bit more, information there in terms of that being relevant to them. The reason that sort of thing is important when it comes to your titles, just to go a little bit higher level here, is because when it comes to YouTube, right, when you have a lot going on here in the Philippines, these videos, because you are making videos about the Philippines, these videos are going to be shown to people, or recommended to people on homepages and suggested videos that are watching videos on scuba diving and people that are watching videos about things about the Philippines. So because of that, when you have like there's a lot going on here and there's no additional context, then that kind of works against you in terms of being able to resonate with either of those types of viewers. But if you're like, okay, there's a lot going on here in the Philippines, then in that case, then it's like, oh, okay, hey, I wonder what it is that's going on. And then they want to click on that. If it's there's a lot going on here with scuba diving in the Philippines, then in that case, for the scuba diving crowd, it's like, oh, you know, what's going on there, right? So it just adds a little bit more there, just a little bit more clarity for the people that you're trying to reach. So that they can identify that the content's for them and that you're talking about something that they might care about. Don't get me wrong, going general like this and just trying to like open up the curiosity loop, like all of that's fine, just from like a general standpoint. But if you're trying to connect with the people that are watching the Philippines content, then in that particular case, making sure that you are leveraging that in your titles and or your thumbnails is definitely important. I target the scuba niche in marine biology because the RPM is a lot higher. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So then in that case, I'm not sure if this video here, I mean, this is 5 months ago, but I don't know if this video here is about scuba diving specifically. If so, then kind of getting that in here so that it's clear to them that it's also scuba diving. Or maybe even using like YouTube's A/B testing tool and just, you know, running a few different experiments, like having the same exact thing where it's like you, and then having just like a person in like a scuba mask or, you know, something like that. That might also be something to consider there. Love that screenshot. Yeah, this is another one, right? Leaving my island in the Philippines, right? In that particular case, that one would probably be relevant for that crowd. Yeah, this is another one too, right? Where you've never heard this part of the story. This video did well. But you have here like you've never heard this part of the story. Like this is definitely a piece of nurture content, I'm guessing, for the people that are really engaged in what you're doing. But still having some type of imagery in there that people can connect to at scale so that you have like you in there, but then have something, that scuba divers can also relate to. Even if it's like, I don't know what you're talking about in this story, but if this story has anything at all to do to do with scuba diving, if you have any like shots within that particular video where you're like holding scuba gear, you're pointing to water or anything like that, using that type of imagery is definitely something I would experiment with, even on like this thumbnail. Cause I know this has been up for 3 months already. But with YouTube's feature for testing the thumbnails, you can actually go retroactively on your thumbnails also and test those. So I would just consider doing that for some of these. Yeah, another piece of nurture content here. Like one thing I just want to bring attention to just to everybody that's in the chat right now is like nurture content like this where you make individual pieces of content. Like I do this with live streams on my channel, but having like individual videos where you just like, talk to your viewers, like the people that are most connected, the people that are like really into what it is that you're making. These types of content are fantastic for growing like, hardcore viewers, like people that are like, you publish a video and they're like, oh, I'm waiting for that next one, right? Like those people, that's a really great way to create that scenario. So yeah, so hopefully that helped. I'm actually going to just look as part of this whole thing. Another thing I do is I just do a quick like description check also, and just make sure that you're fully taking advantage of the opportunity. Okay, so joining the channel, so you're making money there. Get the latest merch, making money there. The other channel, yeah. So if this is the Spanish channel, I'm not sure if it is. Hold on, I can just do this the easy way. Okay, it's not. Never mind. Okay. Become a Patreon. Good, good. All of that is good. So one thing to think about also, just really quick, and this just comes down to like what's most important to you. But here you have want to join me on a live aboard dive trip next year. Sign up here. So because you have these chapters in here, like the chapters are great for viewers, but because they show up on the player, when it comes to your video description, I would actually prioritize the links that are the most important. So you mentioned targeting a specific group of people, the scuba divers, instead of the people that are watching Philippine content because the RPMs are higher. When it comes to your video description, you can take a similar approach and just make sure that the things that are driving revenue for you, make sure that those are featured up above the things like chapters and links to other channels and things like that, so that you can bring attention to those things that actually do drive revenue for you. Okay, nice. Yeah, everything else that you're doing here is perfectly fine. I do think that you are missing an opportunity. Let me see here. So you're already an Amazon affiliate. Species upcoming trips about courses book. Okay, so you got courses that you're selling. Fantastic. Okay, so one opportunity I do think that you're missing, and I recommend that everybody do this. So regardless of the type of content that you make, if the type of content that you make has it to where you, in his case, he can nail this. So either through another website, maybe it's a very specific website, because I'm not familiar with the scuba industry, but if there's a specific website that a lot of scuba folks use to like as an affiliate, then in that particular case, putting a block list somewhere in here to where it's basically like, let's say like right here, you have a list of like, you know, the scuba diving products I recommend the most, or my must have, scuba diving equipment, something like that. And then you put that in all of your videos. Then that gives you, and make sure it's stuff you support and that you really, believe in. But the stuff that you personally use a lot and that you use for everything, if there is an affiliate program for that, then in that particular case, I would just put a link or a list of where the heading in it is, must have affiliate gear, must have scuba gear, or the scuba equipment I recommend the most, or my personal scuba equipment, whatever, and just put 5 or 10 links there that go out to either Amazon or somewhere else where people can purchase those things and you can make money as an affiliate. Over time, like if you are passively doing that, meaning that you're not telling people in your videos to go into your video description, you can still drive, a decent amount of money through those. If you're getting, decent views, which you are, if you actively drive people into those links and you're telling people, hey, by the way, make sure you check out my video description for helpful, resources around scuba diving. And then you have your course down there, you have your merch down there, which isn't really a helpful thing for scuba diving, but you have your course down there, you have your website down there, you have your book down there, and then you have a list of recommended products. Then that list of recommended products, all that has to happen, and you're already familiar with this because you sell the book on Amazon, is people just need to click on that link. And then when they go for Amazon, if they buy anything within that 24-hour period after clicking that link, you're going to get a cut. If you do it if you send it to a scuba company specifically, it's going to be dependent on, what their, rules are around their affiliate program and how they do things. But that one will probably be direct commissions in terms of if they make a purchase, then you'll get a commission there. But I think you are missing an opportunity here to bring attention to, I'm guessing scuba stuff is probably pretty expensive. So bringing attention to, relatively high ticket items that you can make a commission off of. I think you're missing an opportunity to just add to your bottom line there. So I would definitely get that into your video descriptions as well. So hopefully that's helpful. We're going to do another one. So how this works, if you have never, been here before, is I'm going to put a word up on the screen. When I put that word up on the screen, then all you have to do is put that word in the chat. And when you put that word in the chat, then the tool that I'm using here is going to, from StreamYard, is going to randomly select somebody from that. So here we're going to do TubeSpanner update is going to be our word. And I'm going to put that on screen here just so it's clear. It would help if I shared the screen. Boom. TubeSpanner update is the word. So I'll wait until you start putting those in there. My pleasure, Critter Hunter. Hey, and another thing too, I have a rule, like a personal rule when it comes to, looking at people's channels. If I mention anything during the conversation where you're like, I need more clarity on that. If I look at your channel during the stream, you can hit me up on Twitter, just DM me, and I'll add clarity to like whatever you need. If you're like, hey, I had a question about that thing you mentioned or whatever, just shoot me a message. And also, because you're in the Philippines, if you happen to make it over to Chiang Mai, Thailand, that's where I'm at, definitely shoot me an email. We'll grab coffee or something. Because, you're practically a neighbor on a global scale. Not really, but you know what I'm getting at. Let's see here. So we got TubeSpanner update. We got 32 responses. So while those responses are coming in, I'm going to just take this opportunity to spam you, essentially. No, not really. I'm just bringing it to your attention. I just want you to know about it. So TubeSpanner has they've remade everything inside. So now you can go in here. They've updated the navigation. Everything's faster. As you can see, right here to get into everything and do everything. They make it easy to where they, feature the most used tools down here. So for example, the social bio, like my social bio that I use, which is the TubeSpanner one, is right here. And I have this, I think it's on my YouTube channel. I use some of my YouTube video descriptions on my Twitter, pretty much everywhere. Waiting for it to show up. Yeah, so this right here is mine. And I'm actually, for whatever reason, my background graphic that I uploaded up there was way too big. So it kind of slows everything down. So I needed to change that graphic in the background, use something that's tiled. But anyway, it gives you the opportunity to just kind of put together a list of, links and everything that, that people can click on to go to your other social media accounts, or like in our case, because we have a free music service, it just kind of brings attention to that sort of stuff. but it just kind of gives you that opportunity there. But you know, that and a bunch of other helpful tools, as you could see, as I just kind of went down through the list here, like these are all tools inside of TubeSpanner. If you look over here on this side of the screen, these are all tools inside of TubeSpanner that help you. And this doesn't even include the browser extension. Like the browser extension has a lot more stuff in it. So definitely make sure that you do check out TubeSpanner when you get the chance so you can see, you know, what's available. See how I can help you out. Okay, so we are spinning the wheel. And let me go ahead and pull this up before it lands. Boom, Imperial Remnant. Good timing. I got it up there just in time. So Imperial Remnant is the channel that we are going to pull up here. Let's see here. Dealer next stream. You're streaming everywhere today. Yeah, I am streaming everywhere today. Yeah, so really it was just the StreamYard channel and then here. So with with the streams today, it was that I was gonna stream on the TubeBuddy channel too, but I was like, probably 3 streams back to back because I tend to go a little bit long. So I was like, probably not the best idea. So I'm gonna schedule the TubeBuddy one for next week. So let's get Imperial Remnant up on the screen. And I'm going to share the whole window. It's probably going to be easier. Let's do that. And then that way, let's go for the window. Bam. And then that way it'll be easier to kind of bounce back and forth between stuff. And then stretch this out. There we go. Okay. Imperial Remnant, loving. Yeah, we've had him up here before. So let's see here. So Imperial Remnant, Star Wars lore, love, reviews, and theories. Let's see what's going on here. You know, I'm actually just going to hit the videos page because I've already went through your channel in terms of the other stuff. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, by the way, this thing that I'm using here is also part of TubeSpanner browser extension. Let's see. He's finally coming clean. Fire didn't destroy the droids. Yeah, so right now, just this with the state of YouTube, I would definitely focus more. I mean, this one, the views that you have on this one is better, but I would definitely focus more on like longer videos right now for the sake of the watch time. If you can, you know, get the value out in this, it's fine. But longer videos right now are definitely getting a little bit of extra love, so to speak, on YouTube. So just keep that in mind. Jed, I think your imagery is great in terms of, you know, being a crystal clear focus on Star Wars, folks. Like, it's pretty hard to look at this and not know it's about Star Wars. So I think that's fine. Breakdown, teach/corrupt. Okay. So this is a thing right here about when it comes to titles, right? So my brother has talked a lot about Acolyte, and I haven't watched it yet. And if this were to show up on my homepage, I might watch it because it's about Acolyte, but this part right here is confusing. I'm not sure like what to expect from this. Like here you have he's finally coming clean, so I'm guessing you're just trying to ride the trend and just talk about, you know, Acolyte as it rolls, which is fine. But I would try to be a little bit more clear than just, you know, Acolyte breakdown, teach/corrupt. Just try to spell it out a little bit more for people, just so there's a little bit more information there. If you can add something compelling, it's a win. You know, like Acolyte breakdown, you know, I can't believe, you know, he made this move, or, you know, I can't believe they did this, you know, thing or whatever, like that type of thing. But like this particular title is really confusing. This is crystal clear. Why the Empire didn't destroy the droids, right? Like you can be a third grader and see this and be like, oh, I wonder why the Empire didn't destroy the droids, and click into that particular video, right? Obi-Wan Kenobi, full life and legacy. So this is another one here to where you have like Obi-Wan Kenobi, full life and legacy. Still doesn't say like really what it is. I don't know if this is like a documentary, like a short documentary, or really what is on offer here. So I would definitely try to add clarity there as well. Night, crazy action, and my theories. Yeah, this one's a little bit better because it's at least, you know, a little bit more readable there. The night kind of throws me off. But I like that you have the crazy action and my theories, because then it's like, oh, there's something going on here. These are my thoughts about it, which makes that more compelling. Everything you need to know. Yeah, like even things here, right? So the Death Star, everything you need to know. This is fine, right? It's okay. It's informative. However, if you add something triggering to this, like Death Star, everything you need to know to be a true Star Wars fan, right? Instantly, what's going to happen there is people that are into Star Wars are going to be like, well, I already know everything about the Death Star when they see this. But when you say to be a true Star Wars fan, then you're challenging people, right? Then in that particular case, it's like, oh, okay, well, let me see how many of these that I know to see if I'm a true Star Wars fan, right? So I would definitely, try to do those types of things. And don't get me wrong, this is super easy in retrospect, right? Super easy for me to look at this, after it's been published and say, hey, these are the changes that need to be made. But this is why everybody recommends, like anybody who makes content like me, one of the things that we recommend all the time is we recommend that you come up with your title and thumbnail ideas before you commit to making the video. And the reason for that is so that you can kind of work through some of these things that we're doing here in retrospect. So that basically you say, okay, so I'm going to put this in my thumbnail, right? Because it's the Death Star. And then I'm going to have Project Stardust on there, which even with that, I would still put like Death Star or something like that instead of having Project Stardust on there, or just leave the image. But then you have the Death Star, everything you need to know. So what you do is in the ideation stage, you say, okay, this is what my thumbnail is going to be. Like this is what the process looks like. This is what my thumbnail is going to be. And this is going to, this particular imagery is going to definitely connect with Star Wars fans because, and then fill in the blank. And then you want to say, okay, now, am I focusing on the right thing in this thumbnail? Yes or no. If not, then in that case, I'm going to have to work on it. But what exactly I'm going to do for it? What's the focus going to be? And is there anything that I can do with this thumbnail that I need to avoid that I could possibly add to it? It's going to distract people from the thing that I'm trying to get them to see, which that Project Stardust may or may not do. I'm not sure what the content is. And then for the title, same exact thing. Okay, so the title is going to be this. So when it comes to the title, then you start working through similar exercises. So if somebody sees the thumbnail, it's going to grab their attention. It's going to be a Star Wars fan. They're going to read the title. So when they read the title, how am I going to make it clear to them what's going on? And is there a way that I can compel them? So I see what's going on here. So basically the Death Star. Okay, Star Wars fan, they're in, right? You got them right there. They're hooked on the title. So Death Star. Okay, now they move over to everything you need to know. Okay, so it's just everything I need to know. What more is there? What's going on there? Like, is there anything that I can add to this? Is kind of the process that you go through during the stage. Is there anything that I can add to this? Is there any way that I can make this more compelling? And then from there, you start being like, okay, Star Wars Death Star is everything you need to know. Everything you need to know for what? Everything you need to know more about the Death Star, everything you need to know to be well versed in the Star Wars thing. How can I simplify some of that? Everything you need to know to be a true Star Wars fan. Okay. Now we're triggering people. It's compelling. We've got the Death Star in there. We've got everything you need to know, so they know it's going to be educational in some way. We've added a challenge to it, right? And you basically just workshop all of that while you're coming up with your thumbnail and titles before you even commit to making the video. And the reason that you want to do this is because when you're making the video, you know that that's what everything's going to be on the outside. So you can make sure that as somebody's coming into the video, you're reinforcing all those ideas so that long-term performance on the video can be okay. And so that you can make sure that you can package your idea in a way to where it's going to be identifiable and it's going to be compelling. Right. So if you can clear that before you make the video and you're like, okay, this is absolutely identifiable. This is why. This is absolutely compelling. And this is why. Then that's the green light to be like, okay, I've got the packaging sorted. Now I'm going to go work on the video. Right. Everybody here should be taking those particular steps. And Roaming with Alan says, I create the thumbnail in my head before the video. It works for me. Yeah, that's fine too. It's just working through those processes in terms of like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the thumbnail. But what am I going to focus on so that it attracts the right viewers and stands out to the people that I'm trying to reach? And then from there, how is this thumbnail also going to, how is the thumbnail and the title going to work together in this scenario? So the thumbnail is grabbing their attention, the title's pulling them in, but exactly how, right? But working through those things is definitely advantageous. So yeah, in your case, I would just spend more time. Like you're heading in the right direction. I would just spend more time working on working on your packaging. And I've already been in your video descriptions. Like when I look, when this autoplay starts, when I hover over this, like you're standing there, I got to show this. Like, okay, if you're a Star Wars fan, first off, I would not cover it up with that, right? Because the autoplay, right? I would want them to see, like right here. Fortunately, on the loop right now, when it was hovering, it was just stuttering on this particular part, which is great. But because you build all this amazing stuff, having this cover it up for that autoplay, I think is doing you a disservice. I would focus on some of that Star Wars imagery in the video as well. And the reason for that, man, is because when somebody sees that, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but like for me, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, this person is committed, right? Like they're not just sitting in like a environment like I am talking about Star Wars with maybe some Star Wars memorabilia. Like this dude's in like an entire Star Wars set essentially. Right. So yeah, because of that, I would let people see that and I would leverage that, at the start of your videos as well. Because it shows how committed you are, right? It shows that you're a true fan. All right. So next up, we are going to do another one. So let's see here. For this one, we are going to do TubeSpanner bio because that's what we just showed on mine when I showed you my TubeSpanner bio. Yeah, Park Brothers says I want that backdrop. Yeah, I do too. What's funny is I was actually thinking, not thinking of, I was actually pricing those panels. So when I bought this place, I was like planning out, how this room is going to be set up and stuff. And I was like, okay, what am I going to put in the background? And I was like, oh my God, it would be amazing if I had like, the inside of like the Death Star, back there. And I was like, that would look so awesome. So I went out and I priced having it made out of like steel or whatever. And they wanted like $1,000 per panel. And I'm thinking, and the panel was only like, this wide or whatever. And I was thinking like, okay, so I would need like, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna happen. Right. That was my thing. Technically I could do it out of wood and all of that too. But at that time I was like, yeah, metal would be the move. Yeah, I ended up not doing it. But yeah, I would love to. Like, how awesome would that look back there? Even just in a subtle way, right? Just seeing like those patterns back there would look super cool. Subfloor, circle drill bit, jigsaw, $50 a panel. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, so we're at 34 responses. We got 70 people in here, so I'm just giving it just a couple of seconds here, and then we're going to pull it. And again, only put TubeSpanner bio in here if you want your channel pulled up. Yeah, I agree. The way it's lit drives it home, Jerry. Totally agree. Okay, here we go.
Let's get this thing spinning.
Almost nailed the timing. Okay, K-Bears react. Here we go. K-Bears, I'm guessing koala bears by the logo. Let's see what you got. Okay, K-Bears react. Here we go. Okay, so we got koalas. K-Bears react. Hey, we're Ash and Royce, a couple of nerds who fell in love over Call of Duty movies. And okay, so this is cool, but I would definitely make it clear somewhere exactly what it is that you're offering. So you have that you react. So maybe you're doing, so you're doing reactions. Okay, that's fine. So it's clear in the channel name, and then you have it up here and you have the highlight up there. Okay, got it. So you're doing reactions. So I'm not sure what you're doing reactions to. So let's click into your About Me page. Okay, all of that is fine. But I would add some clarity here or your channel art about specifically what you react to. Because, for example, for people that like to watch movie reactions, they'll go to channels that do entire movie reactions. For people that like to do, other reactions, game reactions, that kind of stuff, game trailer reactions, those sorts of things, same exact thing. They do the same exact same exact thing to where it's like, oh, I love this particular channel because they break down they do their game reactions in like a really awesome way, right? Same exact thing for movies, music, everything. Let's see here. This one got us. Attack on Titan. Falls unhinged. Reactions first time. Okay, so some things that you're doing well. The very first is that you are here. Let me go to your actually here, I'll just look at your channel page here really quick. So first, I wouldn't even put this up here anymore. In the past, when you added a channel link, it added an additional button that was over here, so it was separate from this here. Because this is literally right on top of this subscribe button, you don't need this here anymore. So I would just remove that link and instead use it for something else, or just completely remove it altogether. Because for the old way, it turned that little area into like a button, so it was great. But now, like you don't need it because it's literally right underneath that. Let's see here. Okay, just really quick. So you have your videos here for your most recent uploads. That's good. Having them go into playlist, that's good as well. The next thing I would do is I would put your popular videos underneath that and then your shorts. Reason for that is because you want people watching that long form content so that you can get monetized, right? So you can get that watch time. So make sure that you're prioritizing that, and that you're driving people into that, right? So having your shorts on here, that's perfectly fine. But I would definitely prioritize the video content so that you can, increase your rate of getting to YouTube monetization, your speed at getting to YouTube monetization. Next. Okay. So when I look at your thumbnails, and keep in mind what I'm getting ready to say is really common when it comes to YouTube, but because there's two of you, it kind of complicates it and it makes it a little bit confusing. So it's very common to have people in thumbnails. I'm in the thumbnail of this live stream, right? So it's very common. However, when it pulls away from the thing that you're trying to get people to focus on, then it becomes a distraction, right? It becomes something that may not be the best fit. So, a couple things to think about when it comes to what it is that you're featuring in the thumbnail. The very first is I would experiment with, if you haven't already, just focusing the thumbnail on, like in this case, the imagery here from the Fallout there, and then putting Fallout here, there, and then letting the title, kind of do the trick for you. I would try that on a nice big group of thumbnails, or at least use YouTube's A/B testing tool, so that you can figure out, like, okay, with us being in the thumbnail, are people still able to, clearly see what's going on with this content? Like, I would do that because what's happening right now is, because you're here and he's here, you guys are actually kind of splitting the attention on this. And the thing that you're really wanting people to focus on, which is right here, you're actually pulling away from that. And you're doing that in all of these thumbnails, right? um, because you're focusing on you guys being in the thumbnail. If you're going to put you both in the thumbnail, I would put both of you over here, and then I would put the rest of the imagery that you're going to want people to focus on over here, or I would put you guys both over on this side, and then focus all of the imagery for for grabbing attention over on this side. But keep in mind, you do not have to be in your thumbnails. It's not a requirement. So a lot of people do it. Like in my case, I did it a long time ago because I wanted people to, even if they didn't click on my video, I wanted them to see my face so that hopefully they'd click on my video in the future. That might be what you're doing too. Now I do it because I have a certain amount of people. I've got a lot of views, over time on my channel. I've gotten a lot of views, on the TubeSpanner channel, on the StreamYard channel, on the TubeBuddy channel, on the Empire Flippers channel, on the Uscreen channel, on my All Our Questions channel, on my, like all over the place. So because of that, I put my face in the thumbnail because it'll for the people that like my content, they'll be able to recognize it. But you don't have to have yourself in the thumbnail. So because of that, with what it is that you're doing, I would just start experimenting a lot with what it is that you're doing with your thumbnails and try to determine if you need to be in it or not. Because when people come into the content, you're going to be there anyway, right? They're going to see you there. So focusing them on the thing that matters to them, which is Fallout in this particular case, that's the thing that is the most important. So because of that, you guys are secondary in this. This is the primary focus, not you guys. So I would definitely experiment with your placement so that you're not split apart like this, kind of getting attention all over the place. And if you are going to have both of you, I would isolate you to either, that side or that side. But really, because of the nature of what it is that you're doing, I would focus on the imagery more, of the things that you're reacting to. But experiment, right? Try it with, you guys over on this side. And when I say experiment, I don't mean just try it on one video. I mean, pick like, 10 to 20 videos because you have the content. Pick like, all of your videos and say, okay, let's make a thumbnail for this without us in it. Let's make another thumbnail because they give you 3, right? And you get 3 now with every video you upload. So basically have one thumbnail that's just this imagery with whatever it is that you're going to have here, another thumbnail with you guys over on this side, and then another one with you on this side, maybe with both of you guys on this side. Or you could do it with you guys split and then do one with you guys on one side and then one where it's just the image. And then over the course of, 10 or 20 videos on your channel, you're going to start to get an idea of what it is that, works best for your, what it is that works best for the people you're trying to reach. Let's see here. So as we keep going down the list, Alien Romulus trailer reaction, let's go. Okay. So this type of thing, if you were listening to this stream when we first started, one of the things that I was mentioning on another channel, I think it was the Scuba channel, was the side about being compelling. This is an informative title, but I would definitely like Let's Go is not compelling. Instead, like Alien Romulus trailer reaction, there's got to be something that you said in the video or something that really like shocked you in the video or something like that. Something that you can leverage there to be more compelling than Let's Go, right? In terms of like, I can't believe they did fill in the blank, or this was unbelievable, or something along those lines. So where it's like a little bit more about the movie instead of like, hey everybody, let's go get into this reaction, right? Because that's kind of what you're suggesting with that particular title. Same exact thing here. When you have a title, and this is where thinking about the viewer and always putting the viewer first is super important. So like here too, you have, Fallout is Unhinged, 1x4 reaction, first time watching, right? So that's okay, right? First time watching, whatever. But if you actually have a reaction in your title as well, then it just kind of levels the whole thing up a bit, right? Because then it's like, okay, Fallout is Unhinged. I guess the unhinged part maybe is the thing that you're leveraging there. But like Fallout is Unhinged, 1x4 reaction, like that might just be the thing. Or Fallout, 1x4 reaction, and then a bar, and then whatever reaction it is that you're going to, whatever reaction it is you're going to do. In terms of the compelling side, right? Like, they finally hooked up, or, something along those lines. You just got to be careful that you're not giving away the entirety of the reaction that you're doing, right? But you're not, because it's 23 minutes long. But basically just trying to think about, okay, we're trying to get viewers into this based on things that they care about and trigger them based on things that they might want to know, or their own opinions about this, or maybe things they might have heard about this because it's things that people are talking about on social media or whatever. So we're going to leverage that for our titles instead of making it about, like, hey, let's just get in there and watch it, or hey, this is just a reaction. Once your channel gets big, then in that particular case, you can leverage like, first time watching and things like that. You can leverage those things a little bit more if you have like yourself in the thumbnail at that time, just because you'll have that fan base that'll be like, to where you'll be able to publish, you'll be able to do whatever you want, not whatever you want. You'll still have to follow best practices, but you'll be a little bit more flexible there. Right now, the information that I'm sharing with you, and the information I always share with everybody when I'm making content, unless it's on a live stream around a specific question, the things that I share publicly are the things that help you get momentum, right? The things that will help you connect more with your viewers, the things that will help people identify your content, the best practice stuff that you need to make sure you're keeping in mind so that you can get the traction to take you to the next level. So then you can start, kind of leaning into the whole experience. And that's where you can kind of start taking off some of the training wheels, experimenting more because you have more experience and all of that. But right now, I would just focus on the compelling nature of what it is that you're doing. And I know that you might be thinking, because some people think this way, well, I don't want to like clickbait people. I don't want to be clickbaity. There's a difference between being clickbaity and being compelling. Being clickbaity means that you're misleading people. Being compelling means that just like news outlets, just like bloggers, just like every, result you see when you look for things on Google, like people are, writing titles like that because they are effective. So you want to be compelling, not clickbaity. Oh, let's see here. So let's get into the actual Hey, nice work on this one. You got 1.6 thousand views on that. Nice work. Especially, you know, because you're just getting started. Like, it's awesome that you have this one at 3,000 views, 1.6. Like, a couple things I just want to let you know because you're just getting, you know, moving here. The very first thing is that because you are writing trends with this and because you are talking about, you know, popular movies and all of that, one of the advantages that you're going to have here is that you are going to be able to have like some videos that'll just pop and just blow up, because, you know, you'll be one of the first people making that video, and, you know, it'll just put you in the system as like, hey, there's not a lot of content about this yet, so let's show this one to everybody that's interested in this particular topic, right? So you have a really huge opportunity here to really get this channel going. But it's great that you've already made this type of progress when you're just getting started. Okay, so I'm going to go into this particular one and just look at something really quick, just because that's where you had the most activity. So a couple things I would do here also, you know, let me go to a recent video because you might have done this already. Let me go in here. Okay, so a couple things. You are making reaction content and you are competing with professional content creators, people that, you know, do this for a living. And because of that, the level of competition that you are up against is pretty fierce in the reaction space. The very first thing that I would just kind of get sorted when you have the opportunity to is, you don't necessarily have to buy like a new camera. I wouldn't do that per se. Like, you're fine recording on whatever you're recording on. However, I would work on like what things look like. So like right now you have just a big microphone kind of sticking up in the middle. And I just did this on another stream before I hopped on here talking about setups. But basically, like, I would just kind of minimize, you know, this whole thing a little bit. You have way too much light, you know, coming over and hitting you. I'd kind of turn that down a little bit. And I would try to just kind of create just a better scene here. So in order to do this, you're going to need to watch some videos on, like, you know, video production, you know, like how to light videos, that kind of stuff. There's actually a video, my brother put together an awesome video around the StreamYard channel, about lighting. If you type in like StreamYard D Nimmin lighting, it should pop up at the top of search results. But that particular video really explains the just overall concept and things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to lighting your setup. And I think that you guys could really use that information right now. So I would definitely start with that. Now, keep in mind, I don't know if you're using like lights from, you know, like around your place, or if you got like, you know, specific video lights or whatever, but I would definitely work on the production a little bit to try to just kind of upgrade this, just a little bit. Because right now when you come into this, like, it feels like a new channel, which it is, right? So I would definitely try to, you know, kind of lift that bar up a little bit on the production side and just spend some time learning about that. You do not have to you don't have to spend a bunch of money to make your stuff look good. So back in the day when I first started live streaming, I did it for a really long time on my phone. Everything looked like, you know, garbage, and I was fine. Like, it was fine. People were still coming in. I was still able to add the value I was adding at that time. It was fine, right? It was great. Then my next step from there was I got a Logitech C920 webcam. It was like less than $100, and I was using that webcam. But the difference is I got video lighting. So when I got video lighting, then it instantly made things better, because then I could start controlling the lighting, right? So there's a really cheap way to do video lighting. You can go to, I'm not sure if you're in the States or not, but if you are, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's or a place like that, or just any hardware store. And they have here, you know, and actually, YouTube got, Nick Nimmin DIY lighting. Here you go. So this video right here that I made 5 years ago, I'm just going to drop it in the chat right here. This is also going to help you just kind of workshop a kit where you don't have to spend hardly any money. I think the whole kit's going to cost like, you know, maybe $50 or something. I think 30 might have been the total cost here. But I just dropped it in the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I didn't. I was looking at the wrong chat. Hold on. There you go. I just dropped it in the chat. So go check out that video, and it just shows you like a really cheap way to kind of hack together some lights. I did that for like, for quite some time. I think I got my first maybe 50,000 subscribers, maybe even more. Maybe it might have been 100 with that particular lighting kit that I'm showing you how to put together in that video. But basically, when you start controlling your light like that, then it just kind of helps you make everything look better. And you can do that if you're making your videos on your phone, if you're making videos with a webcam, if your lighting is right, then you can make those cameras look really good. Because your phone, you can dial in the settings there. You just have to watch videos on how to do it. Webcams, you can dial in the settings there. You just have to watch videos on how to do it. But right now, while you're going through the process of like, and keep in mind, I'm talking about your production, but like keep in mind that YouTube is a learning curve. So like, you're just getting started. So don't beat yourself up about it. Like it's totally fine. Everybody starts with what it is that you're doing right now. I'm telling you the information I am so that you can just identify it quickly and you can be like, okay, now let's start, kind of working this out. And so that you can know, I need to watch some lighting videos. I need to watch some video production videos. I need to, kind of get that stuff together. That's why I'm telling you that now, right? To kind of help you get ahead of that a little bit. Let's see here, but I would definitely start working on that part. And then here you say, thank you, I'll watch that video. We definitely struggle with lighting. We're using 2 light stands, but it's never consistent and gives harsh light. Yeah. So when it comes to light, how can I explain this in a simple way? So when it comes to light, here, give me 1 second. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try. Okay. So we're gonna take a moment here, and we're gonna have a little lighting class. Okay. So when you have lighting, I'm not sure if I should have turned my overhead camera on, but I'm not sure how good we're gonna be able to do this. When you have a raw light like this, right? I'm not sure how well I'm gonna be able to illustrate this, but man, how can I do this? When you have the raw light, if you look like here, if you look over here, you can see how like it doesn't give any flexibility for the shadows, right? So when you mentioned that you have hard light, in that particular case, like you probably just have the raw light hitting you. If you get a softbox and you put that light in a softbox, then in that particular case, one of the things that you do is you diffuse the light. So the way that you want to think about it is if you have a bundle of wires, right? Probably a horrible example, but if you have a bundle of wires, if you have the hard light, then you just have that straight pole. And if you get hit with that straight pole, then it's probably going to hurt, right? And you might even go in a little bit, right? If you get hit with that straight pole, just a bunch of bundled wires. But if you start kind of peeling those wires apart and you just start spreading those wires out, then in that case, when it hits you, you're probably gonna have a bunch of little dots on you. But it's not gonna go through you like it would, with the pole. So basically what it's doing is it's just basically softening the impact, so to speak, of that wire. This is a horrible analogy, but just roll with me here. I'm trying to make this make sense. Okay. So when it comes to the light, the same exact concepts apply. So when you have the harsh light hitting you, it makes all of your shadows, right? Like if we look like right here, right? I don't know how well this is going to translate, but basically with all of these shadows right here, they're just really harsh and it really makes like wrinkles stand out and like the glasses lines and all that stuff. It's really hard. But as soon as you apply a softbox, then what happens is it instantly makes the light more flattering. Right? You still have shadows, but it instantly makes the light more flattering. It softens the shadows. So instead of it being a hard cut line, now it's a little bit more, there's more of a blur on the line. Okay. So the difference is when you have the softbox or you have something diffusing the light, and you can use something like this for it. You can buy light kits off of, Amazon. You can use, there was some oven paper. I think it's called parchment. We talked about it in the last one. In the StreamYard stream, but basically with the parchment paper, you can put that over it. For me, with that particular light setup that you can do at Home Depot, I used a t-shirt. I cut a t-shirt in half, so I only put one layer of the t-shirt on it, and I just tied it around the light, and that's how I diffuse the light. But basically, when you diffuse the light, it just becomes a lot a lot more flattering. It makes you look better. It makes all the shadows like softer. It can help like de-age you. For those of you in here that, you know, are in the older side a little bit, like myself, it can help de-age you a little bit because, you know, it kind of reduces the impact of your wrinkles, which is even more important when you're using like a high quality camera. But if you just look right here, you can see the difference in terms of there compared to if I bring it out and I put the light in the same place there, right? So the light's in the same exact place, but you can see here the top of my head, like if you look like right in this area, like it's almost blown out right here, right? Like it's way too bright. But as soon as if I put the light's going to stay, here, let's see how I can do this here. So the light's going to stay the same. And then now we are going to put the diffuser on it, right? And then here, still bright. So I'd still need to move it back just a smidge. But I mean, but it's a lot softer, right? And it makes the light just look way, way better, right? So because of that, in order to make your scene look better, lighting is really going to help you. So watch that video from my brother. Watch that video that I made. Take the concepts that I just shared, even though my analogies were horrible. Take the ideas that I just shared and apply those to your lighting, and you'll be able to make your videos look a lot better, like right out of the gate. And that means like you'll be fine recording on a phone. That means you can use webcam, stuff like that to record. You do not need a fancy camera. The fancy cameras are great because it makes you feel good and kind of raises your own confidence. And it does, like when people come in to the video, if everything looks good, then, you know, they might, you know, think the content is more important or something like that, or that you're further along in your, you know, experience. But at the end of the day, like with the quality that we have in these now, like, you know, you don't have to go out on a camera, but getting your lighting together can make a gigantic difference when it comes to your production. Nikki's 29 with 26 years of experience. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, using your crappy phone's fine, right? Like that's, you know, like one thing that's really important is, you know, I'm actually going to do it right now because this is important. And because we are, you know, just kind of having this conversation, I just want to show you guys this. I was actually having this conversation with somebody else the other day, which is why I'm going to show it to you. First, I'm just going to make sure it's still there. Hold on. Okay. So I'm not sure if you guys know who Mr. Beast is, but he's the biggest YouTuber on the planet, right? He's the biggest individual YouTuber on planet Earth. So this is his channel 12 years ago. Okay, so he's got these Minecraft videos, and at this time he was not getting 24 million views on these. This is just flow over from people like me looking at his channel and going like, wait, let's watch these old videos. But if you watch these videos, his presentation sucks. You know, how he puts the videos together sucks. Like, you know, everything about what he's doing it kind of sucks. Same exact thing as we keep going through here. And then like when he finally gets on camera, he even says it right here, I suck at making thumbnails, right? But when he finally gets on camera, let's see here. Oh, not yet. Where's the video that I'm looking for? Nope. Tons of gameplay stuff. Trying to figure it out, just like everybody, right? You can see the thumbnail changes, right? While he's trying to learn here, right? Look at the thumbnail changes, right? We started with screenshots. Then he started trying to learn how to make thumbnails. Realized, because he made a thumbnail talking about how his thumbnails suck, realized that his thumbnails suck. Still continues to make thumbnails, right? Starts making custom thumbnails sometimes. Then he goes through, okay, now he's starting to try to make some actual like thumbnails. Goes through, starts doing this kind of stuff, right? We see this kind of stuff on live streams here sometimes when we're doing channel reviews, right? This is why it's so important to remember the learning curve side of things and just embrace the idea that like, you know, that you know, we're all in that learning curve. But basically, as we go through, then he changed his template and he's like, hey, let me try using this blue background for a while. Who knows what prompted that change? Starts talking about like different things. Still not on camera. Doesn't gotten that confidence yet. Cruising through. Nope. Not yet. Still obsessed, but still working on it. Just going to try to jump ahead here. Hold on. We might be on camera here. But you can see this one, shaky phone footage, you know, doing that whole thing. And this was 8 years ago. Now he's the biggest YouTuber on the platform. On Earth. He's the biggest YouTuber on Earth. Nope, still not him. Okay, he popped into this one, I think, for just a little bit, maybe, because he's in the thumbnail. But you can see here, bad thumbnail, bad thumbnail. Yep, still not there, but confidence is rising, right? Throwing himself in a thumbnail. Yeah, look at the amount of videos. Nudie Linda says, look at the amount of videos, right? Yeah, I mean, this is years. What you're looking at right here is, let's see here, 12 years ago, 11 years ago, 10 years ago. So right there, we got 3 years. And we're not even into the sort of okay stuff yet. He started grinding hard 10 years ago. Okay, now we're 4 years in. Okay, still going. Putting himself in the thumbnails now. 5 years, right? Still roughing it. But he started getting confident, started putting himself in the thumbnails. Now we are, let's see here, we're getting close. Oh, here we go. Okay, now he starts putting himself in the videos, okay? So the things that, okay, yeah, he's putting himself in the videos up here. Okay, here we go. So if you start looking at some of these videos, right, and you start looking at how I was talking to you guys about the production stuff, right? So I'm just trying to find one where he's consistently in it. We'll go here. I just want you to see how bad this looks. Okay. So this right here was 8 years ago. Okay. 8 years ago, this is where he was. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with who he is, but for those of you that are, this is absolutely shocking and mind-blowing in terms of the journey that he's had. So this right here was 8 years ago. You want to see what he's doing now? The video he published 6 days ago has 71 million views. The video that he published 2 weeks ago has 154 million views. The one month ago is 156 million views. All of his videos have 100 million views on them, all of his recent stuff or more. So this one 6 days ago, now this is what's happening. Now he's presenting, he's walking around, he's confident, he knows how to do the thing, right? Now he does full production. He's got the money now, because he went through that fire, so to speak, of the learning curve. Now he can afford the team. He can afford to pay people to make thumbnails. He can afford all of the stuff, right? Because he went through that learning curve. So for anybody here that is in that part to where you're like, man, this is just, I'm just beating my face against the ground, trying to get off the ground and get some traction. 8 years from now, you might be in that situation, right? So just embracing where you're at in the learning curve, or you might be in, another situation, right? You might be in a situation where you're the best channel in your niche, or you might be in a situation where you are, you're within the top 10 channels in your niche or whatever. But the fact that this whole process is a learning curve, just embrace that, embrace that idea. And if you actively try to get better at the thing, you will. Right. Just like the reaction channel that we were looking at, now they know, okay, we know our lighting, needs help. So now, they've got a lead on a video to watch. And now they can, go start walking down that path to try to make that stuff, look better. Now, some of the channels that we looked at here, they're going to be able to, spend a little bit more time thinking about the titles. So they can write better titles and just keep, working through the process. So on that note, because I've been on here for an hour and 14 now. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed this stream. I'm going to, on the next one that we do, which is going to be in 2 weeks, I'm going to try to get through more channels because I tend to just kind of go on quite a bit for one channel. So I think I might like introduce a timer or something like that, maybe to where I can trigger that timer. And then from there, just kind of give myself a certain limit and then just kind of stop there so I can get more, people up on the screen. I think that way it allows to help more people. But of course, even if your channel wasn't pulled up, keep in mind the things that I was saying to the other channels and just ask yourself, like, okay, how are my titles compared to that? How do I need to work on the production side of what it is that I'm doing, and just kind of, work through, those ideas. And have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out. Again, we'll be doing this stream again in 2 weeks. We might jump in earlier, so make sure you're subscribed to the TubeSpanner channel and that you have all of the notifications on. So if we do go live, you can make sure that you are, able to swing by. And have a great rest of your weekend. Hope you got some value out of the stream. And I will see you next time. Oh, and make sure you check out TubeSpanner, by the way. Link is down in the video description, or you can just go to TubeSpanner.com and you can try out TubeSpanner for yourself to see all of the helpful tools and see how TubeSpanner can help you with your workflow when it comes to YouTube. Have a great week. I'll be streaming on my channel tomorrow, so I'll see you there too. So take care.